higher self giving you their interpretation or helping you understand what the reading is about. And no two readings are the same for every person. You can have very similar cards come out and the reading can take a completely different slant. And this is where, you know, working with the tarot is something that it's like a lesson. You've got to keep continuing to work with it. And I try and teach my students that things that can come out in a Celtic cross spread, for argument's sake, where we're working with a minimum of 10 cards, the actual situations will work their way through from the end of the reading until it becomes the past. So we can have many different messages that come out in tarot readings, and they're not all about the immediate of what's going on in our lives today. They can be sometimes much longer projections and alerting us or making us aware to the potential of situations and opportunities that are coming our way. So that's just a little bit of a brief understanding about tarot. So we're going to work with the candles of the week this week, and I thought that, you know, we'd sort of swap things around a little bit astrologically this week, for that it seems like forever now we've been talking about the doom and gloom and the hard lessons and everything like that are going on astrologically, and it's sort of like, yes, they're all still there, you know, Pluto's still doing his dance through Capricorn and Saturn's still there and everything's still sort of like, you know, lots of things that have got to be sorted through. But I thought this week we'd focus on something a little bit more light-hearted as we're heading towards Valentine's Day next week. And this week on the weekend, on the 9th of February, or February 9, we are going to have the new moon in Leo. So this is a really positive new moon for the year, because it's a time when I think we can sort of strut our stuff, we can sort of get our glad rags out of the closet or the wardrobe and say, look at me, I'm feeling lighthearted, I'm feeling frivolous, I'm feeling like let's go out and have some fun. And that's what I think we need to do. I think we've had a really heavy start to a brand new year. Let's try and lighten things up a little bit and start to look at sort of some fun elements in our life, spending time with family, with loved ones, going to see a stage play, seeing a concert in the park, or just going for a walk in the park and enjoying nature if weather permits in your area to do so. Let's go back and do something that makes our heart sing, instead of us just sort of feeling like we're so bogged down with all the political stuff and all the weather events and everything else that's happening around the world. Let's try and have some positivity into our lives at the moment and just loosen things up a little bit and be a little bit free and a little bit frivolous, and, you know, put some music on the turntable and just wiggle your hips and have a good time. So, as I said, new moon this week in Leo. So, of course, I'd be working with the new moon candle this week. And when I work with a candle, I like to work on a 7-day cycle. I work on 2 days on the approach. So, from February 7, I will be starting to write my list out of what I want to bring towards me with the new moon. Now, the new moon is new opportunities. It's things that we want to bring towards us in our life. I have a way of where I always look at, if I'm going to attract 3 new things or intend to attract 3 new things in my life, I try and let go of 3 things at the same time too. Even if it's just old emotions and letting go of old energy, but I like to put the 3 new things down on my list of things that I want to attract towards me, and that could just be a more positive attitude, that, you know, waking up every morning and feeling alive and feeling a little bit childlike and feeling a little bit more motivated to have some fun today. It doesn't always have to be of a serious nature, and it doesn't always have to be, oh, I'm trying to attract a new car or a new job or whatever. It can just be, I'd like some new energy in my life. I'd like some new positivity. So be mindful of that. So 2 days on the approach. So the 7th is the start of the new moon cycle. We have 3 days then of the new moon cycle, which is 9, 10, 11. And then I allow 2 days on the descending after the 3 days of the new moon. So that makes our 7-day cycle. So we'd be working with the fire sign candle as well, because we're working with Leo as well. So I would write an identical list to read out and pop under both candles. Now, when I work with candles, I like to work with them for a minimum of 10 minutes a day. I never, ever leave a candle unattended because of fire risk. I don't put them under air conditioning fans, under windows, under curtains, all the obvious things. But sometimes I think we get a little bit complacent and we forget to think of safety first, and it we are working with a flame after all. Our extra large candles have dual wicks, so I tend to light one wick one day and light the other wick the next day. So minimum of 10 minutes, read your list out aloud, pop it underneath the candle, pop your candle on top of a coaster. Never put it directly on the furniture because the glass container gets very hot. The soy wax doesn't get hot, but the glass container can get hot. And I always put a barrier between that and the furniture, and it also reduces the risk of, if you have a drop in temperature, of the glass container cracking. So for those of you that mightn't have enough room for an extra large candle, can I suggest a gift box set? This week I've made the gift box set up with the new moon candle, the fire sign candle, but I've also put the travel candle in there for good measure because I thought we might like to do a little bit of travelling or send things out to the universe or sort of look at sort of just opening our horizons up this time. But we have 28 candles in our range, so you're more than welcome to choose combination that suits you. You can choose 3 of the same, or you can make your own selections from the 28, as I said, and make your box very personal and very, very individual. So for those of you that like to work with candles, it's a very positive time now to be working with or getting ready to work with the new moon in Leo. And let's put a bit of fun and frivolity back into our lives again. And I think that's really important at the moment, that we've all had, sort of such a heavy start to the new year. I think it's time now that we start looking for something positive, and to become a little bit childlike might be the way to be sort of gearing ourselves up ready for next week when we're heading towards the biggest day of the year for lovers, and being in relationships is Valentine's Day. And I can assure you my inbox becomes very full around that time of year when people are sort of asking the best way to bring in a new lover or to increase the loving energy in their relationship. We might talk about that next week. So we're going to go and talk to Courtney now in Barnsley in England, in the UK. Are you there, Courtney?
Yeah.
Do you have a question I can work with, please, Courtney?
You what, sorry?
So what's your question, sweetheart?
Nothing, I was just wondering if you've got any sort of, anybody that has any messages on to me, like any loved ones that have passed away.
Right. Okay. It's always interesting, Courtney, when you ask questions for me to sort of try and tune into somebody that's crossed over. With such the short space of time that we have on this program, I don't like to guarantee that I'm going to be able to connect with who you want to connect with. But what I will give you is what I'm being given psychically. And at the moment, Courtney, you seem to be in a position where you're sort of questioning a lot of things. There's a lot of endings, change and transformation coming up around you. I sort of feel as if I feel a little bit flat at the moment, as if, the new year started with a bit of a bang, and then all of a sudden it was like somebody let all the air out of my balloon, and I feel very sort of flat. And not so much disappointed, but flat. I don't know where I want to go. I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what's the next step. Can I suggest to you to just allow this to be? Don't be in too much of a hurry to try and kickstart your year just yet. I think you are allowed to sort of just be for the moment and just let everything sort of flow towards you. You